I know exactly how frustrating it can be to have a horse that just won't gain weight no matter what you feed them. I have a thoroughbred mare who has struggled to put on weight and keep it on over the years. And I finally found a feeding regimen that seems to be working with her because she's put on weight and she's been keeping it on. And I'm really excited to share exactly what I've been feeding her because it seems to be working, and hopefully it might work for you too if you also have a hard keeper. Before I get into it, if you think that this is going to be helpful information for you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, and before I share specifically what I've been feeding my horse, I think it's really important to share that I have been through a lot of trials and errors. I have given my horse feed that other people recommend that gave her a full body allergic reaction. I've even done a deep dive in the ingredients that are in some of these common commercial feeds, and I've been really appalled by what's in them. So I'm here to tell you what I'm feeding my horse, but I also want to give you recommendations, like general recommendations of what works, and also what is junk and what you should just avoid altogether when feeding your horse. Also, before going crazy and feeding your horse's feed regimen or trying a whole bunch of different supplements that end up not even helping them, make sure that your horse is healthy. Make sure that they've been dewormed, make sure they're up to date on their dentals, make sure that they aren't having any type of metabolic difficulty, because yeah, if your horse is having any of these difficulties, then what I recommend is not necessarily going to help them. Assuming that your horse is healthy, they have a clean bill of health, I think it's really important to know that horses cannot live on pasture alone. This is a mistake that I have made in the past with my horse, thinking that if I just up her forage intake with Bermuda or alfalfa, that will help her gain weight. And while horses do need to have a baseline level of forage intake, that's not going to meet all of their nutritional needs. So if you think about horses in the wild, they are foragers, so they're eating berries and shrubs, they're eating trees and bushes, nuts, whatever else they can find around. And then in captivity, if we're just giving them one type of feed, like Bermuda for example, it's a mismatch. So even though in the past my mare was getting unlimited forage intake, she wasn't getting all of her vitamin and mineral needs met, and so she was not gaining weight on unlimited forage, and she actually looked quite skinny when she was getting that. So I do think it's important to tell you guys about the mistakes I've made along the way so that hopefully you can help your horse quicker than I was able to help mine. Okay, so the number one thing that really helps my horse gain weight is the Blue Bonnet Limited Forager. Now, I just want to say this video isn't sponsored, but if Blue Bonnet wants to send me an affiliate link that I can share with you guys, I would be totally open to that. The reason I went with Blue Bonnet Limited Balancer is because of the ingredients. Guys, it is so hard to find a horse feed that is not filled with junk, and this has no filler ingredients, no inflammatory ingredients. It's very limited, hence the name. They named it very well, and I'm really impressed with the ingredients. And so my mare gets about 2 pounds of that a day, which is what is recommended, and I love that it has kelp in it. Actually, I will put in the ingredients on the screen right here so that you guys can read it as well. And so yeah, once you read the ingredients, you can see that it's very minimal, very healthy, very good, and I'm really impressed with it. If you didn't already know, a balancer is a concentrated horse feed that contains supplemental vitamins and minerals to help balance out their diet. Okay, here's a list of things that I avoid feeding my horses, and I'll tell you why in just a second. I don't feed soy, I don't feed sugar or molasses, corn, or wheat. It might also be called like wheat middlings. And I also don't do whey protein. I know soy is controversial. Some people say it's okay, some people say it's not okay. I lean on the side of caution when feeding my horses. I'm just under the belief that soy can be inflammatory. It's not a rock solid yes. I just avoid it altogether. But with sugar and molasses, that is just not necessary. We all know sugar is not good for you. It causes inflammation. And then same with wheat. I don't really think feeding horses gluten is a really wonderful thing for them, especially since a lot of my herd is older or, you know, maybe arthritic and things like that. I just think if I can avoid inflammatory foods, I will. Corn, it's a filler food. Your horse doesn't need it. And then I also don't feed beet pulp. Now this one is, again, controversial because a lot of people have had success with beet pulp. When I fed my horse beet pulp, she actually broke out in full body hives, and that was really concerning for me, but I did further research and I learned that beet pulp, at least when you buy it here in the United States, it tends to be sprayed with pesticide, and so you have to rinse it and wash it basically 3 times before feeding it to your horse. I don't know about you, but if I have to wash and rinse my food 3 times before it's safe to feed, I'm not going to feed it. I'm going to go with something entirely different. And then of course my horse was allergic to it. I don't know if she was allergic to the beet pulp itself or the pesticides it was sprayed with, but either way, she was just, her body completely rejected that. Okay, so I've told you about the balancer, but I want to go over her whole diet actually. I'm going to share with you everything that she eats every day. So of course you can see the horses are out in the field 24/7. They also get supplemental Bermuda. So it's Bermuda grass growing, and then they get supplemental Bermuda hay as well in the morning. And then of course, as the season gets colder, as the nights get longer, they'll get hay in the morning and at night. So basically she always has something to munch on. So then she gets 2 pounds of the Bluebonnet balancer. She gets 10 pounds of soaked alfalfa hay cubes a day. Now I love feeding alfalfa to thoroughbreds because it gives them that extra protein, and I'm just gonna say it, it's a myth that alfalfa makes them hot. She also gets salt, like loose salt, added to her feed, and she's also on Gut X right now. Okay, there's another supplement that's actually really amazing, and my horses have been on it before, but I ran out and I haven't replaced it yet. But Arizona Copper Complete is really amazing. It has all the vitamins and minerals that your horses are missing being out here in the desert, and so I would highly recommend that as well. With horses, you want to slowly change their diet. So if you're going to try to change their diet or change the way that they're eating, you want to do it slowly over time. So the general rule of thumb is to change it like 25% at a time, keep them on that change diet for about 2 days, and then change it 25% more, and so on and so forth, just because they can be sensitive and you don't want to shock their system or give them too much of one thing and have them colic on it or anything like that. So you want to be kind to your horse and slowly implement change into their diet. So that's the bulk of the information. Other than her gaining weight, I've also noticed that her coat has been really shiny and she just looks really happy and healthy and well, which is such a relief. She's only 16, so you know, she's middle-aged for a horse. There's no reason for her to be looking dull and skinny. And so the fact that I found a feeding routine that works for her and it's making her healthy and shiny, I am just so happy about that. And if it helps my horse, I hope maybe it can help your horse as well. Also, just as a recap and to give you guys a visual, here is what I feed. I feed soaked hay cubes, unlimited forage, which is either grass in the field or supplemental Bermuda hay. She gets 2 pounds of the balancer. She gets loose salt added to her feed. Electrolytes really help with their water intake, and then I also do Gut X, and in the future I'll also feed flax and Arizona Copper Complete. And here is what I avoid. I avoid molasses or sugar, soy, wheat, whey protein, and beet pulp. Also, just as a final note, because I feel like this is still relevant to this video, the horse supplement industry is just as predatory as it is for people, meaning that there's a lot of supplements promising a lot of big things and they don't deliver. So if you're looking for your horse to gain healthy weight and you just search in the Google bar like horse gait waning supplement, you're going to get a lot of supplements that are either vegetable oil or corn oil and things like that, and they're going to say like, oh, feed your horse this oil and they're going to gain weight. And I am going to advise you against that, because your horse does not need vegetable oil to gain weight. In fact, vegetable oil can be very highly inflammatory. I don't think it's that great for them, and I think that there are healthier, better ways for your horse to gain weight. And also, weight gain is not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen over a few weeks. You could start seeing changes within a few weeks, but if you're looking for like a healthy long-term plan, getting your horse to gain weight in a healthy and sustainable way is going to take place over months. And feeding your horse like a vegetable supplement is just not going to cut it. Horses gain weight by taking in more calories than they're expending. They don't need sugar or oil to gain weight. So if you're looking up supplements and you're thinking about ways to help your horse gain weight and you come across a feed that's really high in molasses or sugar or vegetable oil or corn oil, I would avoid it. I also want to point out that this video could probably be a couple hours long if I were to cover every single thing I need to cover about horse nutrition and feeding your horse feed to help them gain weight. So this was just meant as like a very basic and general guide. This was not meant to be thorough or complete by any means. I just wanted to share something that worked for me so well. Like I said before, I have really had a hard time putting weight on my mare and keeping it on her. So the fact that I found something that worked for us, I'm just really excited to share it. Like I said, it's not meant to be a thorough guide. It's not meant to be like a complete list of everything that's good or everything that's bad. So take it with a grain of salt, and also let me know if this helped you. Let me know if you already feed your horse any of these things, and if you have any other comments or things you want to add to this video, definitely comment below and I will connect with. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next Friday.